Hello, today we are working on standard form, so it's our lesson on that. So here's example 1. Hannah will spend $150 on music festival tickets. Reserved seat tickets cost $25 and general admission tickets cost $10. How can you represent the situation with a linear equation? Well, let x equal, let x equals the cost of reserved tickets and let y equal the cost of general admission tickets. So a lot of times we have two different things. You see we have tickets cost, reserved, and then the general admission. They're two different prices. You're going to need two different variables to represent them. So the money spent on the reserve tickets, well, that's 25 for every ticket. So that's 25x. Plus, in general admissions, 10 for that, so it's 10 times y. And the total budget is $150. So this form that you see, that's the one we're learning, the standard form. That will really help you understand how to set equations up, and it's really valuable when we have these real life situations where you have two options and you have a total budget. You're going to see it like crazy. All right, so we have our equation, and the question is, how can we represent that? You're done. But I know that we like to see different forms, so we're going to talk about that in a moment. If you see here, it says at the bottom, the equation 25x plus 10y equals 150. That's standard form. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. A, B, and C are integers. A and B are not equal to 0. So you can't have a fraction in for A or B. You can't have a decimal in for A or B. You need integers. Big tip. Definitely write that down. Okay, pause the video at any time. All right, what's next? So now let's talk a bit more about this. Hannah's spending, same problem. What information does the standard form give you that maybe the slope-intercept form does not? Let's see the value of why are we using standard form. If you notice slope-intercept form, there was value in it. You got your slope and you got your y-intercept. But in real life situations, what do we get from standard form? So let's look at that. So for standard form, our equation is 25x plus 10y equals 150. But on the left, they rearranged the equation by subtracting 25x to both sides and then dividing by 10. I can certainly show you that if you have questions about it. What this means here is that Hannah can buy 15 general admission tickets if she buys no reserved seat tickets, right? So she can buy 15 general admission if she buys no reserved. By putting in 0 for x, she can buy 15. Here on standard form, she's saying Hannah can spend $150. That's the constraint. So if we're looking at slope-intercept form, you can determine the y-intercept by inspection. Like you can look at it and identify the y-intercept and then just identify what that means. Well, the y value is admission, general admission. So that's why the y-intercept is 15, and that means 15 general admission tickets. To find the x-intercept, to find how many reserved, you would have to plug in a 0 for y. And that's tricky when it's in slope-intercept form like that one. When the equation is in standard form, it's super easy to find that both the x and the y-intercept, and I'm going to show you that right now. All right, so this is example 2. We're going to sketch a graph. So if you want to pause the video and start making a coordinate plane, the graph is 3x minus 2y equals 9, which is in standard form. So you don't want to rearrange the equation to make it look like slope-intercept form. I'm going to show you a better way. When your equation's in standard form, you want to find the intercepts. So not just the y-intercept, but the x. And if you look, the first one we always find is the x. Stay consistent. Find your x-intercept, and then we'll find our y. To find our x-intercept, we'll substitute 0 for y and solve for x. So you have this equation. We're putting 0 in for y. So I have 3x minus 2 times 0 equals 9. I want you to think about, why am I putting in 0 for y if I want my x-intercept? Look at your coordinate plane. Then obviously anything times 0 is 0. 3x minus 0 is still 3x. So I have 3x equals 9. That's kind of cool. Then I divide by 3. X is 3. So my x-intercept is 3. That's pretty fast. If you look at this, you could do that very quickly. Now let's find the y-intercept. Same idea, but we're going to plug in a 0 for x to solve for y. Now think about it again. Why would the y-intercept, why would x be 0 on the y-intercept? Okay, all right. So here's my equation. I'm plugging in a 0 for x this time. And then I'm left with negative 2y equals 9 divided by negative 2, and y equals negative 4.5. So the y-intercept is negative 4.5. Now, remember, our point here, why we were doing this, was to sketch a graph. So we're going to sketch the graph of the line now. All we got to do is plug in those 2 points, draw a line. So sweet. So the 2 points that we have here, our x-intercept point is 3, 0. And the y-intercept point is 0, negative 4.5. Make sure you always write the point coordinate, like the coordinates. Make sure you write the point with the 0 in the y and for the x-intercept and 0 in the x for the y-intercept. Now we'll sketch the line that passes through these intercepts. Let's move me because the graph is coming there. All right, so I've got my negative 4.5 for my y-intercepts. You see that blue point there. And then on the x-axis, my 3 is plotted, and then draw a line through. That's pretty cool. Almost done. So standard form, the perk, right, the huge perk is the intercepts. It's set up really nicely for you to find your intercepts. All right, what's next? Example 3. So now we want to talk about, well, what if A is 0? What if that's not there and you just have something like 2y equals 6? Well, you're going to solve for y and you get y equals 3. Now, no matter what, y equals 3. So if x is 10, x is 9, x is 0, x is negative 3, y is 3. So that line, you'll see what it looks like. It's y equals 3 is a horizontal line. So when a is 0, when there's no x value, you have a horizontal line. That's just a nice fact to remember, and hopefully through some practice we will remember that. I would like to move so you can see that. All right, our next example is, what if the graph has b equaling 0, so there's no y value? So here's what an example of that. So you have 3x equals negative 6, divide by 3, and you get x equals negative 2. So the value of x is negative 2 no matter what y is. Y can be anything, and x will be negative 2. So if you draw that, line, let me move me. I go all over the place, huh? Then x equals negative 2 is a vertical line because the value of x on this line, if you're going up and down this line, has to be negative 2. So any value of y, whatever it is, right, it's still negative 2 for x. So that's a vertical line. All right, and then there's one last thing I want to show you. It's Hoivux, and we're going to talk about this. Hoivux, if you just copy this down, then we'll talk about what each part means, okay? So H for horizontal line, I drew a horizontal line under it. O is really a 0 for the slope. Because I'm walking right across, I have no slope, my slope is 0. And then Y is my Y equals a number, and it will cross the y-axis. For Vux, V, vertical line, the slope on a vertical line is undefined, and it'll look like an x equals. All right, so that's Hoivux for you. Awesome. We'll learn more about standard form and all this fun after.